So for meal preparation, it's very important that you have gloves on for this. You're going to want to follow the client care plan to make sure your client does not have any special diet requirements. So for today, my client requested soup and an orange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off the soup. I'm going to set this in the dirty area. I'm going to put a paper towel over this to prevent splatter. I'm going to put this in the microwave. Now that the microwave is complete, it's very important to make sure that it is not too warm. So we're going to want to make sure it cools down and have your client test it first very carefully. We're going to throw away the paper towel. And I have a clean spoon for my client and a paper towel underneath it as a barrier. I'm going to set this aside for my client. And then in addition, my client requested an orange, so I'm going to peel that for them. I'm going to take the orange peel and throw that away. You can ask your client what their preference is, but my client prefers that the oranges are peeled out for them, so it's easier to eat, especially for the seniors. It's important that they're not taking as big of bites to prevent choking. So I'm going to set this aside for my client. So now that the food is prepped and set aside, it is the perfect time to remind my client to take their medications with their meal. It's very important to read the client care plan to see what time the medication reminders should be done. And as a caregiver, we cannot administer the medications. We can only remind our client to take the medication. So I'm gonna set these pills aside. I'm only gonna open the one for today. And I'm gonna set that aside and remind my client to take their pills as well when they eat their meal, and there's some water for them to take those pills. If your client does have expired food in their fridge, it's very important that we ask our client first before throwing away the expired food. We can suggest to the client that the food is expired and that it may not be the safest for them to eat, but it is important that we do ask our client before we throw any food away.